What is good, YouTube? Watch you here with a video on the future of the MCU. So, Venom: The Last Dance, Venom 3 is coming out at the end of October. Can't freaking wait. We all know this is leading towards Spider-Man 4, and it's actually going to have to go somewhere, whether that be another Spider-Man movie or whether that continues to Multiverse saga. We know Marvel and Sony have a different sharing arrangement now where they are working together with what looks like it could be outside of Spider-Man stuff, where Spider-Man-based villains could appear in other movies if the Knull information is true. So, if you are new around, and make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Multiverse content. Yes, that will be coming back very soon. Also, a bunch of new content. Please subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, become a channel member to support your boy, Stew. If you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, check us out on Instagram at Stew. Also, follow us on TikTok, Stew, starting over there very soon. Follow us on my smallest platform in the world, which is Twitter, StewG. Right. So much information going around. As we know, they've recently just confirmed who is going to be the actor, the motion capture actor behind Knull, courtesy of Alex Perez. It's going to be Andy Serkis, who actually was involved, directed Venom 2, I'm pretty sure. Also, he is pretty famous for motion capture work. He was Caesar in the Planet of the Apes franchise for some of them, and he's got a plethora of accolades. So, very cool guy. And it's, as Alex Perez also says in his article in thecosmiccircus.com, I think it is, it's not a one-and-done role, so they're setting Knull up to be a kind of big bad for the whole Spider-Man universe in the MCU. And if they're doing it properly, it looks like Knull could be joining Doom in his evil Avengers team, potentially, and that could be cool. So, information's going around courtesy of Cryptic HD on Twitter. He is very reliable. He's got a very good track record. As you know, I give a lot of these wannabe Twitters, scoopers, so much was really reliable when it came to Deadpool 3. Somehow gets all the trailers before anyone else. So he is saying the following, but he's also saying, take it with a pinch of salt. And that's what I like from these scoopers. Don't actually confirm something. Just say, yo, this is what I've heard. Don't say, yeah, it's 100% confirmed, because that's not the case here. He says, take it with a grain of salt, but I've heard the next Spider-Man movie might be titled Spider-Man, King in Black. Who's the King in Black? It's the Necrosaur wielding, the celestial killing, the god-slaying villain, Knull himself, the god of the symbiote. Now, as we know, Knull has appeared in the trailer. Venom has something that Knull wants, but I don't think Knull is the actual villain of Venom 3, like a lot of other people are trying to make out. But it is a bit weird. They've only shown Detective Toxin. They haven't shown him, like, transform into the Toxin symbiote, like, visually. We've only seen it in his eyes. So I can understand why people think Knull's the villain now. Nah, Knull's barely going to be in the movie. They're setting up Knull to somehow traverse from Clintar when he gets out of his prison via some kind of codex. And that's why I said that potentially Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy could die. But now I'm having second thoughts, because I don't think they're going to do that. I know that Tom Hardy said, yeah, this is our last time I'm playing Venom. I think he's just talking about in his own standalone franchise, because we've always known it was a 3-part trilogy, and they've all made a financial profit as far as I'm concerned. So I think what's going to happen is, with the hive mind, or that's probably how Knull is going to traverse to the MCU. Knull's probably going to chase after Venom, as we've seen the leaked post-credit scene, or the leaked ending of Tom Hardy's character, Eddie Brock, randomly walking in New York City. And we know that Eddie Brock resides in San Francisco, so why would he be in New York City? It makes no freaking sense. So Spider-Man King in Black does make so much sense. But it goes one step further. So we know in Spider-Man No Way Home, Andrew Garfield implied that he had a fight with an alien or some variant of that. And we know they could potentially return. We know every single scooper under the sun after No Way Home came out and said, yes, Sony wants to use Andrew and Tobey again. Yeah, you know why? Because that movie is one of Marvel's biggest movies ever, grossed just under $2 billion. I don't really think a movie could bang on that level again just because you have them in it. It's got to make story sense. There's got to be some narrative story point. Don't just chuck them in the movie to make money. So when that happened, a lot of scoops said, yeah, Sony wants to make Amazing Spider-Man 3. Tobey's coming back. They're all coming back. And they've done it again. Essentially, they've done the same thing again. So Andrew Garfield comes out and says this about would he return to play Spider-Man again. I love that character. It brings me joy. If part of what I bring is joy, then I'll joyfully return. And we all know Andrew Garfield is back from his hiatus from acting. He wants that money. Then, of course, a scooper comes out. Like, I'll say that loosely. Andrew Garfield will be returning as Spider-Man for at least 2 more roles. Ironically, and I find it interesting how I don't mind what people say, but you've kind of got to like stop yapping. You kind of got to, you know, read between the lines. Andrew comes back and says, yeah, I will do Spider-Man if it makes sense. Scooper says, yeah, he's coming back for at least 2 roles. Let's be honest, it's not a scoop. Just come out and say, yo, I've heard he's returning for 2 movies. I've heard he's returning for 3, personally. But yeah, so I spoke to some people that actually know what they're talking about, and apparently, somehow, Andrew Garfield is going to appear in Spider-Man 4. But if you do remember a while back, and I get why Tom Hardy's always said this, because obviously Venom is in a universe where there's no official Spider-Man. So Tom Hardy's always said, yeah, there's a Spider-Man in my universe. And with the way Spider-Man 4 is looking like it's going to be set up, a lot of people have been thinking, oh yeah, it's the multiverse. He's referring to Tom Holland's Spider-Man because, as we know at the end of No Way Home, Venom, Eddie Brock somehow came to the MCU. Then they traverse back to their own universe. And that's essentially where Venom 3 is going to start. But a lot of people now seem to think that Andrew Garfield is the Sony Spider-Man universe Spider-Man, and he very well could be. He should get another Spider-Man movie for sure. We need justice for Andrew Garfield. But don't make out it's a freaking scoop, because it's not. It's just yapping. It's just theorizing. We get it. It's part of like the pop culture world where you can start yapping and you can basically guess and pretty much get 90% of things right that happens in movies. Let's be honest. So is Andrew Garfield going to appear in Spider-Man 4? I don't know, but people been yapping about Andrew and Tobey and Tom all appearing in Spider-Man 4 again because Sony wants that money. I would prefer a more grounded movie, but let's be honest, if Spider-Man 4 is part of the multiversal saga, which it is, we kind of need some multiversal storylines, because let's be honest, we've had less than 5 movies in this multiversal saga, realistically. It's like Captain America 4. They're having to tie it to the multiversal storyline by forming the new Avengers, by Nick Fury appearing at the end and saying about the multiversal threat, so on and so forth. So we need some multiversal storylines in the multiversal saga. Now, I know a lot of people want the Spider-Man movie to be grounded, but come on, y'all, we can do that with Spider-Man 5 and 6. So I am likely and inclined to think that maybe they are cooking. Maybe they are cooking. I don't think they are, though, but maybe they are. So I was on Twitter recently, and you know what I'm like on Twitter? I do give people some. So there's a Twitter account called Austin, and he posted that Regal Cinema, I mean, I don't even know what Regal Cinemas is. I think Regal Cinemas is a cinema in America. And for some reason, they've posted Anti-Venom, like Anti-Venom. And it's essentially a controller. So he was saying that Anti-Venom is ? Some variants of that in The Last Dance. And essentially, it just looks like a PlayStation controller holder. And then he went on to say, yeah, it could be hinting at Anti-Venom. I think it's a pretty cool theory. So he posted a theory on his Twitter and said this: what if Eddie Brock becomes Anti-Venom by the end of the film? The Last Dance, but the piece of Venom left in the MCU bonds with Spider-Man and eventually becomes a new version of Venom later on. This could be why Tom Hardy keeps saying he is done as Venom, because he is now Anti-Venom. As you know, Anti-Venom is basically the same but different. He's got a white costume, symbiote suit, instead of black. Then he went on to say, I'm thinking they might try to cut themselves off the hive mind and they may alter the appearance of the symbiote and turn it white. In the comics, Martin Liu causes the transformation into Anti-Venom, but they may do something different with Venom 3 at some point. I mean, I don't think that's true. Austin, sorry, lad. Go check him out. I mean, he posts a lot. If you want Marvel information that's going around, Twitter, I'll leave the link down below in the description if I remember. It's a pretty cool theory based on nothing. And the reason why I don't believe this is actually official merch is because it's only exclusive to Regal Cinemas, and we don't have them outside of America, so I don't care if it's not in England, personally. But it looks like a pretty cool merch. Having Anti-Venom would be cool. We know there's going to be a bunch of different symbiotes in this movie. We know apparently Scream's in it, apparently Toxin's in it, apparently All Stew's in it, apparently Knull's in it, apparently Spider-Man's in it, in the capacity of Peter Parker, maybe. We don't know. Tom Holland, he was seen at Pascal Productions recently, so we don't know. And obviously, don't take it personally, whatever I say on Twitter. I'm just joking, y'all, just trolling. Y'all know what I'm like. But yeah, Spider-Man 4 could be called A King in Black, which would be pretty cool, to be honest. But it would hint that basically Knull is going to be there. And obviously, we know Knull in the comics. From doing some Googling, I'm not one of these people that make out I'm a massive comic book fan. Let's be honest, no one's read every single comic. But in the comic, it was a cosmic version of Venom that did take out Knull. But super OP, super OP, had like cosmic level powers. So they're not. So Knull won't be defeated in Spider-Man 4. That is freaking cap. Even with Venom's help, it's not. It won't be the case. So if they are going to do this Knull storyline properly, Knull should team up with Doom and become the because Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doom. No one's going to come higher than him. But Knull could cause some havoc in the MCU. And then also you got to think there's so many ties to the Necrosword. We did see Gore, the God Butcher in Thor: Love and Thunder, have the Necrosword. How did Knull lose the Necrosword? And obviously, if you know the comics, it links back to Hela as well. So, yeah, a lot of people thought that maybe Knull was dead in the MCU because the Necrosword was with Gore, although they wasted that character. I hope there is some backstory where they explain how he lost the Necrosword. And I hope somehow he retrieves the Necrosword because he's super OP. He's killed Celestials in the comics, killed a bunch of big-ass villains, and that's what I hope he does in the MCU. Comes, kills some big ass villains, and done. And then Doctor Doom fights, and then just use Knull properly, lads. Don't mess it up. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarsStew, check us out on Twitter, WarsStewG, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.